Dead Cells was released today in early access on Steam, and as I said once before, I don't usually do any kind of early access, but since I've been doing so on a few titles here and there and been impressed with the results more often than not, I decided to pick this game up since it seemed right up my alley. The trailer for the game said it was a Roguevania game, which means they've mixed a roguelike style game with a Castlevania post-Symphony of the Night style game with non-linear levels. I have to say, with only playing a few hours of this so far, I am blown away at how its simple style has sucked me in already. I started out as a weird creature slithering into a dead body and reanimating it somehow. Then almost immediately I was thrust into a world of pain. The good news is I already had a primary weapon of a dagger with a quick attack speed and the choice of either a bow or a shield as a secondary weapon. I chose the shield first off, but in later attempts I honestly just ignored both of them. I also figured out that I had a dodge maneuver that granted me some invincibility so I could roll through an enemy's attack. This didn't really take too much getting used to because it would warn me of such an event by displaying an exclamation point above the creature's head before it happened, giving me a split second to plan my dodge. The great news is that the controls for all of this are nice and tight. Everything feels exactly like it should. Also, Dead Cells seems to dive a good bit into platforming, and those tight controls really come in handy for that. In no time, I was having a blast exploring the map and discovering some new things, like chests that would reveal powers that I could use that had a cooldown, like grenades, and also scrolls that would improve my skills, like lowering said cooldown, making my attack stronger, or adding just more health to my meter. It turns out that all of these things were important and made exploration a key element in getting anywhere. On top of that, I had to be consistent in my dodges or I would be dead in no time. Enemies also came in a lot of varieties, like archers, weird zombies that can jump, some that throw bombs, wooden dummies that can make nearby creatures invulnerable to attack, and a lot more. If it sounds weird, it's because it is, but it just works. Also, there were elite versions of certain enemies that were pretty damn tough. They had minions with them, and they dealt a massive amount of damage. The good thing was that my kills gave me cells, and those cells can be used for upgrading my character's weapons, and also adding abilities like being able to heal. Also, certain enemies could drop blueprints that gave me even more things to upgrade. I got the chance to upgrade each time I went into a new area, and it would also allow me to fully heal before starting the next section. Mainly because dying is not a great idea. Roguelike games start you all over if you die, but that's the reason there's so many rewards for making it further into the game. You get more upgrades as well as new abilities that can get you around the map and back into the section that might have killed you in no time. I unlocked a way to make the creatures like me turn into vines so I could use them to climb places I couldn't get to at the start of the game. Also, there are teleporters all around that help you get back to the main path faster, so you can keep moving forward if you go a side route to explore a little bit. It's really handy. I also picked up a great deal of gold, which would either buy me new items from the shop or open doors that might contain a health scroll or another useful item. There were also doors that were timed, and from the start of the section I would only have a limited amount of time to get to them before they closed. There were also a few different weapons for me to play around with, like double daggers, a blood sword, and an electric whip. The whip didn't do a ton of damage, but would home in on creatures and act like a heat-seeking attack. And if I decided to pick up a new weapon, it would give me the choice of replacing my primary weapon or secondary weapon instead of just choosing it for me. There were also amulets I could pick up and wear that would improve my abilities. I'm not super far in the game because I've only seen about 5 areas so far, but damn it, Dead Cells was already too cool not to make mention of. Once I get through it, I might do a full review, but so far I have to say that if you're a fan of Metroidvania-style platformers and don't mind some roguelike difficulty, then snag this one for sure. And I'm sure with it being an early access that things will only get more badass from here.